When Maria arrived at the grand mansion for her first day as the new maid, she was nervous but excited. The CEO, Mr. Thompson, was known for his strictness, and the staff whispered that working in his house was like walking on eggshells. As Maria entered the hallway, she noticed a little girl sitting alone near the window, humming softly while rocking back and forth. No one paid her any attention. The girl's eyes were distant, lost in her own world. "That's Lily," whispered another maid. "The boss's daughter. She's different. Don't bother her." But something in Maria's heart stirred with compassion. Throughout the day, Maria cleaned quietly, observing how everyone avoided Lily. The cooks ignored her when she came near, and the butlers simply walked past. When she tried to join them during dinner, her father barely looked up from his phone. The mansion was full of expensive furniture, yet it felt empty, cold. That night, Maria couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the lonely little girl whose only companion seemed to be silence. She wondered why love was missing from such a beautiful home. The next morning, Maria found Lily in the garden, tracing her fingers over rose petals and whispering something under her breath. Maria approached slowly, kneeling beside her. "They're beautiful, aren't they?" she said softly. Lily looked up, startled, but didn't respond. Maria smiled gently, not expecting words. She began humming an old folk tune from her village while watering the flowers. To her surprise, Lily tilted her head, listening, and began tapping her fingers to the rhythm. That small response lit a spark in Maria's heart. Days passed, and Maria made it a routine to spend her breaks near Lily. She never forced her to speak, just shared small moments, folding paper cranes, painting leaves with water, or humming songs. Other maids gossiped, calling her foolish for wasting time on a silent child. But Maria saw something magical in those quiet moments, a connection growing wordlessly, like sunlight nurturing a hidden seed. She realized Lily didn't need fixing, she needed understanding. One afternoon, the mansion buzzed with preparations for a charity ball. Mr. Thompson's business partners and their families were coming, and everything had to be perfect. Maria noticed Lily standing in the corner of the ballroom, her hands covering her ears as loud music played. No one noticed her discomfort. The laughter and chatter drowned out her silent struggle. Maria's chest tightened. She couldn't bear to see it anymore. She turned off her cleaning machine and walked toward Lily. "Would you like to dance with me?" Maria asked softly, extending her hand. The music seemed to fade as Lily looked up, confused. Everyone stopped and stared, a maid asking the CEO's daughter to dance. A few waiters snickered, but Maria didn't care. Slowly, Lily reached out her trembling hand. Maria guided her gently, humming the same soft tune they shared in the garden. The two began to sway, not to the music of violins, but to the rhythm of trust and affection. The room fell silent, even the musicians paused. Mr. Thompson turned his head, his expression unreadable. But for the first time, Lily's face glowed with pure joy. Her laughter, light and unrestrained, filled the hall. She twirled clumsily, holding Maria's hands, her eyes sparkling. The crowd didn't know what to say. Some smiled, others looked away in guilt, realizing how they'd ignored her for so long. When the dance ended, Lily hugged Maria tightly. "You make the world quiet," she whispered, her first words Maria had ever heard from her. Tears welled up in Maria's eyes. The entire room gasped, even her father was frozen in disbelief. For years, Lily had barely spoken to anyone. And now, one act of kindness had opened a door no therapist, no doctor, no wealth could unlock. Mr. Thompson approached slowly, his stern face softening. He knelt beside his daughter, placing a trembling hand on her shoulder. "Lily, you spoke," he murmured. The girl smiled shyly and nodded toward Maria. "She listens," she said simply. The CEO looked at Maria, his eyes glistening. For the first time in years, gratitude replaced pride. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice cracking. From that day forward, the mansion changed. The servants no longer avoided Lily. Instead, they learned to communicate with her, through gestures, colors, and patience. Maria became more than a maid, she became Lily's friend, teacher, and light. The house that once echoed with silence now rang with laughter and music. And every evening, the two danced under the same soft melody that first connected their souls. Months later, during another grand event, Mr. Thompson proudly introduced Lily to his guests, not as a burden, but as his inspiration. When he spoke about empathy and understanding, his eyes often sought Maria in the crowd. She would smile humbly, standing near the door, holding a tray but knowing her small act had changed lives forever. One journalist covering the event asked Maria, "How did you get her to open up?" Maria smiled gently and said, "I didn't teach her to speak. I just listened to what she couldn't say." Her words spread across the city, touching many hearts. People began to see autism differently, not as a silence to break, but as a language to understand. Over time, Maria and Lily became inseparable. They painted murals, planted trees, and recorded songs together. Maria taught Lily to feel rhythm through touch, tapping gently on her palms, matching her heartbeat to the music. Lily began composing tunes that reflected her emotions, calm, chaotic, beautiful. The CEO sponsored a charity for children with special needs, dedicating it to his daughter's courage and Maria's compassion. Years passed, and Lily grew into a confident young woman. At her 18th birthday, she stood on stage and played the same melody she once danced to with Maria. "This song," she said, "belongs to the person who taught me what love sounds like." The spotlight fell on Maria, now older, standing at the edge of the crowd with tears in her eyes. As the music filled the hall, everyone rose in applause. Mr. Thompson hugged Maria like family, whispering, "You didn't just change my daughter's life, you changed mine." And at that moment, Maria realized something profound. Love doesn't need wealth or words. Sometimes, all it takes is the courage to reach out a hand and say, "Dance with me."